When it comes to carbon wheels, you got two lines of thought. You got the people that stay true to the aluminum wheels that came stock on their bike, and they're gonna tell you carbon wheels are a complete waste of money.
Mark is the winner of the $1 Million Challenge.
No way!
And then you got the people that are gonna tell you a set of carbon wheels like this is one of the best upgrades you can do for your bike. But it's also one of the most expensive upgrades. So that leaves everyone else, like you and me, wondering if they should even buy a set of carbon wheels. Is it gonna be worth all that money you're gonna spend? Will you even be able to feel the difference? And I knew the best way to answer those questions was to get a set of carbon wheels, a set of alloy wheels, do multiple back-to-back laps to really see if I can feel the difference and try and tell you guys if I think it's worth all that extra money. But I had one problem. I didn't own a set of carbon wheels. So I reached out to the guys at Worldwide Cyclery to see if they'd send me a set of wheels to demo.
Stay tuned and be entertained.
And that's when this box showed up. Jared sent me a set of these WTB carbon wheels. He said I would have 2 weeks to test these things out, and then after the 2 weeks, I had a choice. I could either buy the wheels or send them back. Now I do gotta be transparent with you guys. These videos are supported by Worldwide Cyclery, Trail One Components, and KETL Mountain Apparel. They send me products. I'm not paid to sell you guys anything, but if you use the link in the description, it helps the channel out and helps me continue to make more videos like this. So over the past couple weeks, I've put in some serious miles doing back-to-back laps, alloy versus carbon, taking them down some technical black diamonds, jumps, wood features, even on some slower blue and green trails to get an all-around feeling for which set of wheels are best. And today is the final day. By the end of this video, I have to decide if I'm gonna buy these wheels or ship them back. But first, we need to take a look at the bike I used to test these wheels. This is the 2023 Trek Fuel EX7 that I put a ton of upgrades on. It's a modern trail bike that's probably somewhat similar to the type of bike most people are riding these days. It's got a 1x12 drivetrain, 140 mils of rear travel with 150 mils of travel up front, 29er wheels front and back, and like most bikes out there, it came stock with a set of alloy wheels on it. Now let's take a little bit closer look at the wheels that we're gonna be testing. My bike came stock with these Bontrager Line Comp 30 aluminum wheels. They got a 29mm internal width, and they've got the Bontrager Rapid Drive hub that's got 108 points of engagement. Now I've owned plenty of Trek bikes over the years, so I'm used to riding these Line Comp wheels. They've definitely held up to the abuse. I really have no complaints with these things, but I've always wondered how they would perform against a set of carbon wheels. For the carbon wheel set, Jared sent me a set of WTB CZR I-30 wheels. These things have a 30mm internal width, asymmetric spoke offset, which helps to maximize that spoke tension. And when it comes to spoke tension and carbon wheels, that's gonna help keep your wheel true, keep it from getting out of whack. So that spoke tension along with the carbon rim is definitely gonna help reduce the amount of maintenance that you have to do on your wheel set. Those spokes are tied up to a set of frequency hubs, and everything about this wheel is built for absolute strength. So this definitely isn't a weight weenie carbon wheel, not something that's gonna be the lightest wheel you can get. But when I was talking with Jared about these, I told him I wanted something that was really gonna handle the abuse and the type of riding that I like to do. Now, in order to get the most accurate test results, I set up both wheels exactly the same with a set of Pirelli Scorpion tires. You got the Enduro rear specific tire out back that's 2.4 inches wide, and the Enduro mixed condition tread up front that's a 2.6. Both of them are set up tubeless with Trail One valve stems, got the Shimano Dior cassette on there, and 200mm rotors front and rear. So completely identical setups, which really allowed me to feel the difference between the carbon and the alloy. Now I've seen other people do videos on their YouTube channels where they're testing carbon versus alloy, but they got completely different tires, completely different compounds. So now you're wondering, is it the tire I'm feeling or is it the wheel? All right, now let's talk about weight. The WTB wheels with tires and everything on them came in with a rear wheel weight of 2,750 grams and a front wheel weight of 2,300 grams for a total combined weight of 5,050 grams. The alloy Bontrager wheels, on the other hand, came in with a rear wheel weight of 2,860 and a front wheel weight of 2,350 grams for a total combined weight of 5,210 grams. So that's only 160 grams difference, or about 1/3 of a pound. But keep in mind that the WTB carbon wheel is definitely a lot beefier, wider, thicker, and could give you all those performance advantages of a carbon wheel while still coming in at a slightly lighter weight. Finally, it's time to talk about the price, which is the biggest deciding factor for most of us. The WTB CZR I-30 wheel set comes in total combined cost for the front and rear wheel at around $1,600. While the Bontrager wheel set, well, first of all, it's a stock wheel set, so you could say it comes for free on your bike, but if for some reason you did want to buy these things aftermarket, comes in at less than $600 for both sets. So that's $1,000 more for this set of carbon wheels back here. So once again, leads me back to the questions. Should I even buy these wheels? Is it going to be worth the money? Will I even be able to feel the difference, Jared? So now that we've covered all the specs, it's time to talk about how these two wheels felt on the trails. I'm lucky enough to have an amazing set of trails just down the street from my house. Moore Park has everything you need, from technical climbs, black diamond descents. They've even got some awesome wood features and a skills area that's really going to allow you to session jumps, drops, corners, and really put things to the test to try and see if you can feel the difference. Now, I'm an intermediate level rider, so I'm no pro, but that also means that I'm hitting features probably close to the same speed and with the same impact that most of you guys are when you ride. So I think it makes my reviews a little bit more accurate, and what I'm feeling probably a little bit closer to what you guys would be feeling out on the trail. Throughout testing, I started off all the runs with the aluminum Bontrager wheels first, and after taking a few good laps, I changed out to the WTB carbon wheels, and then I went back, hit all the same exact features at as close as I could to the same exact speeds, so that way I could tell exactly how the different wheels felt. And I was shocked at just how quickly I could feel the difference between the carbon and the aluminum wheels. The WTB wheels are only a tiny bit lighter, but immediately they felt faster and easier to accelerate. And I think that's due to the stiffness of the carbon rim and how it improved the ride quality, like the overall responsiveness. I just felt the bike was just responding faster, pedaling and accelerating just a little bit quicker, and even at slow speeds, they made the bike feel just a little bit more lively and responsive. And when I took back-to-back laps on some of my favorite downhill trails, I was definitely riding faster on those carbon wheels. Now, I'm not a guy that cares too much about Strava times, but I do think it was kind of cool to see the time difference, knowing that it wasn't just a perception of me feeling faster, but actually time in those runs, I actually got down the trail quicker on the carbon wheels. But I think this had less to do with rolling speed and more to do with the added stability and control that these carbon wheels gave me. With the carbon wheels on, my steering just felt a little bit sharper, a little bit more controllable. When smashing through rock gardens, it was a little bit easier to keep a straight line. The overall stiffness of that rim, you could really feel the difference. When you're climbing uphill, kind of those awkward, like off-camber sections when you're on the side of a hill, you could feel the bike just holding its line a little bit better. Also, because that rim was flexing less, it felt like the tires had just a little bit better grip, especially when you're leaning over into those corners. I think because the carbon wheel doesn't flex as much, it allows those side knobs to really dig in. And when you have your weight really leaned into there and the rim isn't flexing, it allows you to rail those corners. Overall, just gives you more confidence. So you definitely can feel the difference between carbon and alloy wheels. But what it really comes down to, and the deciding factor for whether you should get carbon wheels or not, is how much money are you willing to spend? And is that money really worth the performance advantages? Because for me, $1,600 front and rear is just a little bit too much. So I think I'm gonna have to be forced to ship these back to Worldwide Cyclery. Now, I am gonna reach out to them and see what type of deal we can work. Maybe I can get these things for a cheaper price. because I would keep these things if I can get them for cheaper. However, for most of the riders out there, you might be better off taking your $1,600, instead of spending it on wheels, just sticking with your stock alloy wheels and doing a lot of other upgrades to your bike that you could do for $1,600 or less. And if you guys want to see some of those upgrades that I've done to this Fuel EX for under $1,600, including 3 of the upgrades I recommend every mountain biker get regardless of budget, go ahead and click on that video right there.